10 days after the triplets were born, the mother experienced intense chest pain. Triplets are truly extraordinary. Having them is one of life's most remarkable experiences, and this was certainly true for the family in this story. Triplets happen about once in every 10,000 births, so it's rare for people to meet or have triplets. But this was the case for Casey Rott from Kansas. She was pregnant with triplets, and she and her husband, Joey, were thrilled to be expecting 3 babies at once. Who wouldn't be excited? They couldn't believe it, but they were overjoyed. Casey and Joey had a lovely love story, and this news made it even better. They quickly realized they wanted to be together forever and planned a bright future. They got married in 2006 and bought a farm 2 years later. They had a wonderful life, a happy marriage, and a home they worked hard to make beautiful. Although they were happy, they felt something was missing. They had everything they needed, but they wanted children to complete their family. So they decided to try for a baby. Their house was now ready for kids. Soon after, Casey became pregnant, and they were overjoyed. Their dream was coming true. A few months later, they found out they were having a girl, and they named her Chloe. They were living their dream life and were very happy. Chloe was the child they had always wanted. 4 years later, they received more good news. The couple was pregnant again. They were expecting another little girl, and they named her Tenley. The family became increasingly happy, and their lives got much busier as they now had 2 small children to look after. As hectic as it could be at times, they loved it. But would they be ready for the next good news? A few years later, they got good news again. This news was more important than before and was, in fact, the best news they had ever heard. They never expected anything like this. Casey was pregnant again, but this time with triplets. The couple had naturally conceived triplets, which is incredibly special. They couldn't believe it. It was major news that they had to process. They would suddenly go from 2 to 5 children, and the 2 eldest were still small. They had a lovely house, but now it would be full. However difficult it might get, they loved it. Casey and Joey sometimes couldn't believe that their lives had turned out this way. No matter how wonderful the news was, it wasn't going to be easy. The doctor told Casey that it would be a risky pregnancy, and this pregnancy could even be dangerous. The doctor advised her to take certain medications that would make her delivery earlier and safer, but Casey didn't want to take any medicine. She believed that she and her 3 babies would be fine, so she rejected it. She decided to visit another hospital where she could get permanent medical assistance, which made her feel safer. However, doing so would mean that Casey had to stay there for several months. She was lucky to have relatives in the area who could help her. Her husband and children were back home, and they didn't see Casey for months. It was hard on all of them, but it was for their own good and the health of Casey and the babies. Casey said each day how much she missed her family, but she also wanted to ensure that her future 3 children would be safe and healthy. That is why she decided to do this. She had no other choice. It was a difficult time. The days passed, Casey's babies grew, and her belly became more voluminous. The delivery was now approaching. Before she knew it, she and her husband, Joey, would have 5 children. She couldn't imagine it. It was exciting and joyful at the same time. She couldn't wait to meet the 3 little ones and return home. She would finally meet her newborn children and be reunited with her husband and eldest daughter. On the 29th of June, 2016, Casey gave birth to triplets by cesarean section. It was a tense day, but the 3 children were healthy. They were 2 boys and a girl, Asher, Levi, and Piper, and they were oh so cute. Casey wanted to go home as soon as possible, but the doctor advised her to stay a few more days with the triplets to ensure everything was all right. A little later, Casey could go home. She was delighted to be home again at last. Unfortunately, the triplets were still in the hospital. Sadly, Casey also had to go back to the hospital. She wasn't feeling well. 10 days after the birth of the triplets, the mother felt an enormous pain in her chest. She felt a stab as if someone had stuck a knife in her chest. It was unbearable. Joey rushed his wife to the hospital. Once they arrived, the couple was told that Casey had a blood clot in her lung. The doctors also assured them that she would be fine and that she was in good hands, which reassured them. Casey could now be with her 3 newborn babies again, and hopefully, they could go home as quickly as possible. It didn't seem to be too bad, so they tried not to worry too much. Joey and Casey went home at some point so that Casey could see her eldest daughters again. There, she continued as if nothing had happened and as if she had never gone to the hospital. The loving mother did all the usual things. She started cooking tasty food, did the laundry, and took care of her children. She felt well again, and the family liked the fact that their mother had returned. They felt complete again. After a while, Casey started feeling unwell again. The pain in her chest returned. Joey panicked and immediately brought Casey back to the hospital. Sadly, things worsened from there. In the car, Casey fell unconscious. Joey tried to wake his wife, but nothing seemed to work. Things deteriorated, and he became even more worried. He tried to get to the hospital as quickly as possible. The couple arrived at the hospital once again, but Casey remained unconscious and was taken to the emergency room. Joey waited outside, filled with worry and hoping for good news. Time seemed to drag on as he tried to stay calm. Unfortunately, the doctors soon delivered terrible news. They could do nothing more to save Casey, and she passed away that day. Joey was devastated. The love of his life and the mother of his 5 children was gone. He faced the heartbreaking reality of raising their children without her and struggled with how to tell them. Casey was only 36 years old. All relatives and friends had to say goodbye to her unexpectedly. Joey had to stay strong for his children. No matter how bad he felt, he arranged a beautiful funeral for his wife, and everyone got to see Casey for the last time. From now on, Joey was on his own. He had to take care of 5 children. His beloved wife was gone. But Joey wasn't quite as alone as he thought. The father of the 5 children received lots of help. A GoFundMe was launched, raising money for the family. They raised more than 150,000 euros. Everyone who heard the story was deeply affected, and people donated generously. This helped the family a lot, and Joey is forever grateful for this. The family also received a lot of help from Joey's parents. Thankfully, many people could help Joey. He tries his best to stay strong, no matter how much he misses his wife. It was difficult for him to say goodbye to her. He couldn't believe what had happened. Everything went so fast and unexpectedly. His wife eventually passed away because of the blood clot in her lung, which was most likely caused by the problematic pregnancy. But the doctor said it wasn't that bad, so he had never seen this coming. It wasn't good at all. He couldn't believe that this had happened. It took Joey a while to accept it. The first few days, he felt almost paralyzed. He had a strange feeling and refused to believe it, but this was reality and nothing could be done about it. Joey still receives help from the people around him, and he and his family are managing. The children are also staying strong, even though they miss their mother terribly. The triplets help to distract them and bring happiness and joy. 3 beautiful gifts that Casey gave to the family before she passed away. Joey and his children try their best to keep Casey in their minds and hearts, even though she is physically no longer there. Before Casey died, she told Joey to tell her children how much he loves them if something were to happen. He makes sure that his children know this. How would you help Joey and his family in this situation? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you liked this video. Please give it a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.